Hello everyone. So I'm back with another Webtoon review, and I recently just caught up with Lumine, which wasn't a hard Webtoon to catch up with because the chapters have been short because the author has been working on other stuff, which is good for me because the shorter the better. But I recently just caught up with Lumine and I saw all of the page turning events that happened, and I kind of want to talk about it. I did do a previous video about Lumine and kind of what it's about and what I really like about Lumine. So I'll leave a link in the description below about that. But today's video is just basically a continuation of what's been going on so far and just my predictions of what's going to happen in the future. So the last we left off was we find out that Lumine is a werewolf. And this certain part of the story is that he is being demanded to come home. And I guess Lumine's father sent another werewolf in order to capture Lumine, which we found out his name is Orion, to bring him back to his homeland, which is Terravon, if I'm saying that correctly. So the last chapters have kind of been about, that. And sort of just the fight between the werewolf and the witch father, which I completely forgot his name. Oh, by the way, do expect a video about the fight between the father and the werewolf, because that was actually an amazing fight with a lot of subtle details that I kind of just want to talk about with that. Basically, Lumine and Cody are running for their lives, but Cody feels like his father is in danger. I found it really heartwarming that the father actually, how to put it, kind of sends this farewell speech to Cody and Lumine. Which can be interpreted in many ways. It can be interpreted as, one, it can be interpreted as he actually did die by the hands of this werewolf, or two, it can be interpreted as they have to be on their own in order for them to be safe. I don't know how exactly the fight ended because the last panel was just a lot of blood, which I hope that he doesn't die, because actually Cody's father is pretty much my favorite character in Lumine thus far, just because of his personality and just the way he carries, he handles his son and, his business that is around him. But only time will tell. So the chapters finish up with Lumine back on Terravon, which is his hometown. Now, they don't know why he's there, but they know that they're there for a reason, because Cody's father teleported them there before sending his final farewell speech. And they meet a nice lady. I think she's a werewolf as well. And she takes them in. And she's agreed to help them until they figure something out, which always translates into we need to find out what the heck is going on before we can do anything else. I really do like the direction that Lumine has been taking. The last arc of Lumine was pretty serious, but it wasn't serious to the point where it got super dark, but it was serious to the point where we just need to pay a little more attention, because there's more to the story than just a cute werewolf serving a master, which again, I kind of love like stories and plot twists like that, where we all think it's one thing but it's completely another. It's really hard to do, even though it seems so prevalent. But I really like Webtoons and just any media that can successfully trick your mind into believing one thing but it's completely another. And I say that to say that, again, Lumine was supposed to be just this cute dog that we didn't know much about his past, serving Cody, which was supposed to be his bodyguard but really technically his friend. And then it turns into this super serious, webcomic with black market dealers, and then just people trying to, abduct Lumine. So I'm really interested to see where the story goes from here. I do love the work that the author is doing, but I know that the author has a lot of other things going on, so I know the chapters are, short. But another thing about that is that the author really knows how to end a chapter, which is, again, it seems common, but it is a really hard art to do. I'll give you an example of a webtoon that does it pretty badly. The Gamer. Now, I'm not on the current season of The Gamer, unfortunately, so I don't know if this has changed, but The Gamer does have a very huge tendency to, how the best way to put it, end on the weirdest cliffhangers that I've ever seen. And if you've read The Gamer, and I made a video about that, I may put that in the link in the description as well, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, where we're really not given much detailed information and it just ends and we just have to wait another week. But Lumine, even though the chapters are short, the way that the author ends them keeps us in suspense, especially at this current arc, because we don't know what's going on, but we're more intrigued that how the author really ends each chapter despite everything that's going on. It's very crucial towards our interpretation of it. Now, I personally think, with all that mumbo jumbo being said, the author's doing just fine with that aspect. But again, it's notable to the author because it's really hard, especially if you're not meeting your deadline. And not saying that the author isn't, but if you're not meeting that specific deadline and you need to cut off at a certain point, the author has been really good with doing that so far. Some of them have been abrupt, but I feel like at all it's done is just kept us more anticipating the next chapter, which again is how these webcomics should be. These webcomics should be for the anticipation, for the fun of it all, which is why I enjoy reading webtoons so much, because of these certain aspects and these certain just little nuances that they share. But again, that's a whole lot of mumbo jumbo. The main point is I really do like the direction that the story is headed. Right now in the current chapter, everything has calmed down, and basically they're trying to figure out and compile everything that happened, because everything did go from 0 to 100 in a drop of a hat. So all I'm just interested in to see is what the author does next and how the author carries about it, and hopefully we can get longer chapters. But even if the content of Lumine is great, and again, I recommend that you read it as soon as possible, and it won't take you long too, because it didn't take me long. I finished it in a day. So yeah, that's pretty much my review on Lumine. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like and hopefully a subscribe. If you like Lumine, the webtoon, make sure you always leave a heart on the chapters, which again, the community has been doing very well, so I can't complain. With that being said, thank you for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next video.